say, okay, all character class or all actors that are screen details. Are there more than zero? Yes. Or sorry, I want this to be false. If yes, do nothing. If no, then create a widget. So it should just create a widget once, move on. Now the problem being that it's not populating. And there's getting a bunch of access none errors. Okay, so promote to variable. And what I'm going to do is instead of doing it like this, yeah, that's exactly what I was about to do, was do an is valid check. That is exactly what I was about to do. Boop. By the way, Katatis, I got my first taste of working with you guys. It was rather interesting. Let's see. Yeah, access none can be a bit of a pain in the butt. But let's see. Get. But you know, once you get to it, it's not nearly as bad. And it's not populating a lot of things, but let's see. What is going on here? Oh, yes, these. Okay, so now the only errors are whatever these were, too. A lot of this information that you have going on inside of the character class, I would actually highly recommend, or in the level blueprint, I would actually highly recommend putting in the game state, or like the game mode level. I think game state would be the one that I would probably use. Remember, the length is always going to be 0 on the get all widgets of class, because if an array is empty, it's 0. Well, no, because it should run through right here. It should run through and create a widget after getting the widgets. So it goes through, says, oh, there's no widgets, and then boom, creates the widget. So it should be populated afterwards. I think. But the way I would probably actually do this instead of doing it this way, let's see, I would actually probably, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's see. Print string. Let's have it print this. Or it's going to crash. Nope, it's not going to crash. Okay. Okay. It's interesting. Output log. No, output log use stay. Still not printing. Let me try what I was gonna do, which is take this, take these. Hey Motorcep, how you doing? So yeah, that seemed to, yep, it was just that the length was 0 instead of 1. You were correct, Kitatis. So, my thing though is this seems really inefficient, simply because you're doing all of this work that should be in something like the game mode or game state or even in the level blueprint if you're going to keep it on one level, and you're doing it inside of the character, which should be focused more on the character interactions, or the inputs and stuff like that. If you move this information right here, the add to viewport and the create widget, if you move that to wherever you're doing this part and just have it populate to, if you're planning on doing networked versions, I would populate it to the client and just push it, if, or either that or have it created client side only. If you're planning on doing it locally, then you should just have to create one, and just at, once you're at the end of your sequence and begin play, or right after you create the view target with blend, then just pop it into the camera, and that should theoretically work. Excuse me. And then, since you already have references to, like, I'm assuming these are supposed to be references to your characters. Since you'll already have references to your characters, then all you'll have to do is take those references and go, okay, well, this one is, Larry, this one is Sue and Bobby and all that stuff. So that should work. But pretty much as long as you're making it to where you're only populating this thing once, that's what matters. Did that help you? I'm hoping that helped. I'm also kind of curious about what's going on here. These guys are in boxes. Are they supposed to think outside the box? Kill me, I know. Oh, it's such a fantastic pun. Everyone has used it. Oh. Yeah, it's interesting. So here's what I would do, actually. I would probably just, I know this is going to break a lot of things. I realize that. But just for sake of example, character screen details, add to viewport. Yes, I realize unknown is not a valid level actor. Now see, this still pops up, and then all you have to do is populate that information without having to go through the rigmarole of every character trying to populate, trying to do this, that, and the other. Instead, you can actually just leave it at, let's see, where's your side scroller character? So instead of doing all of this, you just go get and then Now you have this variable that you can use inside of your character. And since you have a single copy of this, it's always going to be the same one, so it's just 0. That's how I would do it. All right. Anywho, let's see. I was going to go ahead and pull up my ArcViz camera. If you have any other questions, please feel free to post in the chat here, and I'll be happy to take a look. Whew, my eyes are tired. I have been. I'm helping out another team currently, and it's completely new information to me. So, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So let's see here. I want the. That's the 3D selector, which is this. Okay. That actually, I need a better icon for that. Oops, don't need that. Need cam settings. No, cam view. There we go. I want to go ahead and get this into a better situation. Hi, Irate Gaming. Haha, I get it. Right now we are working on a ArcViz camera that is designed. Here, I'll go ahead and show you. So in most ArcViz situations, you're either going to be on a slow-moving, kind of on rails kind of thing, or you're going to have a camera setup where you have static cameras and you kind of click to switch to another camera. Well, these are a bit of a variant on that, where I've attached the camera to a mesh actor that I want to look at. And then if I hit this button, pops up here, and we can mess with our values here to change the options of how we want to look at it. And the end goal is to get. Give me just a sec. Sorry, I didn't want to cough in your ears. So the end goal is to get it to where when we select the actor in question, we can determine in editor. So we actually place these cameras wherever we want them, and then once you click that box, it selects it. And my end goal is to get it to where I can actually get a reference to the tables, like so in this case the tables material, right? And I'm going to have these set up. These are already set up to parameters, and I want to set it up to where I can actually change the parameters to be different textures or materials based on that. So similar to like if this was a asset being used in a design program for interior designers who are trying to model a mock-up of a room, and they want to say, okay, well, maybe I don't like this table. I like the design of the table, but I don't like the materials being used. Okay, I can go, or while they're in game, they can select it and go, boom, switch it to, I don't know, a glass top table, or switch it to a, laminate wood. And the end goal would be to have 3 or 4 options for each item, where you can select through, set the textures as you per camera, and then when the person goes through, they can actually choose the design of the room that they're looking at. It's kind of where I'm going with it in the long term. I don't know how far we're going to get with that, but that's my long-term goal. Let's see. This I want to go ahead and add text, which is just going to say options. And we're going to make the background here. Let's see. Okay. Kind of want the. Oh, I'm still messing with the text. Not what I intended. I want the buttons. There we go. There. Now when they click this, options. Let's see. I'm currently working on a horror game